Welcome to this course on MCP with Spring Boot. In this course, you will learn how to build AI tools and backend systems using Java and the Model Context Protocol. We will build MCP servers, AI tools, and real Spring Boot projects step by step. Before we begin, here are basic requirements. You should have Java 21 or higher installed, Maven or Gradle as your build tool, and either IntelliJ IDEA or Spring Tool Suite as your integrated development environment. A basic understanding of Spring Boot and REST API will also help. That's it. We are ready to start. Let's begin. Now, let's start building our first Spring Boot MCP server. Here I have created one very simple Spring Boot application. This is a Maven project and I have a pom.xml file. In pom.xml file, I have added this Maven dependency. Basically, this automatically sets up the necessary endpoints and beans once the starter is added to your project. So this is the first step. Now, let me show you application.properties file. Here I have provided name to my server. I have provided port. Now here comes important point. We need to provide the protocol for your MCP server. It's very important that we understand different types of transport protocols in MCP server. So if I click here, I can see three different types of protocol in this library. So in this MCP Java SDK, there is an enum called server protocol with three values: SSE, streamable, and stateless. Let me quickly explain what each one means. SSE or server sent events is the older approach. The client connects to the server and that connection just stays open. The server keeps pushing events down to the client in real time. It's always stateful because of the persistent connection. The second approach is streamable. Streamable is the newer recommended transport. It's basically a single HTTP endpoint that is smart enough to either return plain response or streamable chunk back depending on the request needs. The cool thing is it can be both stateful and stateless. So it works great in the serverless and cloud environments. And the stateless, this is the simplest one. No streaming, no session, no persistent connection, just plain HTTP request in, response out. Think of it like a regular REST API call. Super easy to scale, zero overhead. So the quickest way to remember is SSE is old school persistent, streamable is the modern flexible option, and stateless is just plain HTTP when you don't need any of that streaming stuff. For this for this tutorial, I'm gonna use streamable and let's take a look at our code. Before that, let me show you the tools that I have created here. So basically I have created two tools. This will greet user and this will just add two integers. So I'm using @tool annotation, and here you can see this annotation is coming from Spring Framework.ai.tool, and in the configuration I have created tool callback provider. I have created this bean and I have registered my tool using this configuration. So if I click here, you can see I am, you know, registering all my tools. This is very simple project. You just have to add this dependency. You have to select appropriate server protocol. Here I am using streamable. You need to decide the correct transport protocol as per your requirements, and you can keep on adding tools here, but keep it simple. I have only two tools, and you just go to configuration class and register your tools. And now let me start the application. You can see I have started my application on port 8080. Now, as a next step, I'm gonna integrate this MCP server in Claude Desktop. So let me show you how to integrate your Spring Boot MCP server in Claude Desktop. So I'm gonna keep this server running, and I'm gonna show you how to add the correct configuration in your Claude Desktop. In the previous section, we created Spring MCP server, and in this section, we will try to integrate that in our Claude Desktop application. So for that, you have to click on Settings option, and then you have to select Developer option. Currently, you can see there is no MCP server listed. So I'm going to click on Edit Configuration button. From the File Explorer, you need to select Claude Desktop Configuration file, and I'm going to edit this file. And you can see currently we do not have any MCP server configured. So I'm going to put this configuration over here, and you can see I'm using HTTP localhost 8080 because my application is running locally on this port, and MCP is the default prefix here. So I'm going to save this file, and if I come back here, I still do not see my MCP server listed over here. So you must restart your MCP server in order to see the changes. So I'm going to exit from the Claude Desktop. I'm going to launch it again. Now, if I go to settings and if I click on developer option, awesome. Now you can see my Spring Boot MCP server has been configured, and now we will check whether I'm able to call the tools from Claude Desktop application. So I'm going back and I'm going to chat window. So I'm gonna ask a question to Claude. Hey, can you please list all the tools in your MCP server? And now let's wait for the response. Sure, please check the big. Okay, awesome. I think Claude made a mistake. It initially refused to scan our MCP configuration, but now it seems our tools greet and add are configured here. So let's try one of these tools. Can you please call greet with name Thomas? Now it's calling our tool. Greet tool responded with hello Thomas. If you see in our tool, we are taking username and greeting with hello. That's it. Please like, share, and subscribe, and please motivate me to create more contents like this. Thank you. Thank you very much.